Archangel Michael says, your neighbor has spoken your name to someone dangerous. I was sent to protect you, but you must open this before 11:11 or I cannot intervene. It happened quietly. Your name was spoken, not in love, not in concern, but in secret and with intention. The one who spoke it lives closer than you think, just a few feet away, through the thin veil of brick and paint that separates your home from theirs. Archangel Michael, the commander of heaven's armies, leaned close in the spiritual realm and heard it. Your name echoed in a dark exchange, passed like a curse to someone who should never have known it. And now, this warning has come because time is running out. You felt it. Something shifted recently. The room feels colder. The energy when you pass your window is heavier. You've noticed patterns repeating, like the same bird tapping at your pane, or the lights flickering right before you pray. These aren't coincidences. They are signs. You are being watched. Someone has unlocked a door in the spirit, and now something is trying to step through. Archangel Michael was dispatched urgently because your name was invoked in a moment of malice. But here's what you must understand now. Heaven cannot force you to receive what it offers. Protection is not passive, it is activated. The angels are standing near, but they await your consent. Archangel Michael says there is a divine timestamp looming. 11:11. If you do not open your spirit and receive this message before that appointed moment, a window will close, and intervention may be delayed. This is not a warning born out of fear. It is born from the fierce love of heaven for your soul and your future. Type I am rising to get the blessing 4896. You were not meant to be tangled in another person's curse. But now your energy hath been entangled by the reckless mouth of a neighbor, someone who is spiritually unaware or worse, spiritually corrupted. It could have been jealousy, envy, or spite. But whatever the motive, your name has been sown into dangerous ground. And like a seed, it's beginning to grow something you never asked for. That's why Archangel Michael was dispatched with a blade of light in his hand, to sever the tie before it blossoms into a full-blown stronghold. The spiritual atmosphere is electric around you. Have you noticed the restless dreams, the interruptions during prayer, the sudden emotional spikes that don't feel like your own? These are indicators that something has latched onto your name and is trying to drag your destiny in a direction it was never meant to go. The message here is not panic, it is preparation. Michael stands ready, but he is bound by divine law to only move when you are aligned with heaven's instruction. The moment you read this, a countdown begins. Archangel Michael says that 11:11 is not just a time, it's a divine checkpoint, and if your heart is not positioned by then, a spiritual delay will begin. What happens next can be shifted in your favor, but only if you respond. That is why this message had to find you right now. That is why the angels have stirred everything to bring this moment into alignment. Type I'm anointed to get blessing 9999. There are conversations that happen in shadows, not the ones you hear with your physical ears, but spiritual exchanges made through envy, bitterness, and silent intention. Your neighbor may have smiled at you yesterday, but in the unseen realm, they release something dark using your name. Sometimes it's not a ritual or a chant. It's the emotion behind the words that create spiritual power. Archangel Michael is alerting you because your name was used not in love, but in resentment. And resentment becomes an invitation for spiritual forces to enter where peace once lived. When someone speaks your name with jealousy, it is like signing your name to a letter you never wrote, sending a message to entities that have been looking for a doorway. You didn't give permission, but a crack was opened. It's how the spiritual world works. Agreements don't always happen through rituals. They happen through emotion-powered speech. Your neighbor's bitterness, whether born from competition, gossip, or hidden darkness, created a spiritual signature. And now, that signature is hovering over you like a fog. But God, in His mercy, sends a warrior, Michael, heaven's chief protector. You have likely felt strange interactions with this person before. A sense of discomfort, an instinct to avoid their energy. That's not paranoia, it's spiritual discernment. Your spirit was warning you before your mind caught up. Michael has come to confirm that your intuition was right. This neighbor is not just toxic in the physical sense. They are spiritually connected to someone or something dangerous. They passed your name to a person or power they shouldn't have, and now heaven must intervene to stop the spiritual contract from sealing completely. Type I am rising to get the blessing 7171. Archangel Michael is not merely visiting. He has stationed himself near your home, watching the vibrations around your property. The divine shield he carries cannot be raised until you consciously agree with heaven's plan for protection. God is not forceful. He waits for your yes. And right now, the atmosphere around you is vibrating with urgency. If you delay, something will be permitted to move against you. If you act in faith, something will be blocked in its tracks. You must decide if you will spiritually stand up or remain spiritually passive. The neighbor in question may not even fully know the danger they have stirred, but that doesn't make the consequences less real. Some people carry spiritual ignorance, and others carry spiritual malice. Either way, they have now tied you into a dangerous chain of events. Archangel Michael is holding his sword not just to protect you, but to sever this chain before it wraps tighter around your life. You were never meant to carry this burden, and the angels are ready to pull you out, but only if you open your heart in obedience. This is not just about your physical safety, though that may become relevant. It's about your destiny. Your neighbor's actions were aimed at your divine momentum, your favor, your breakthrough. Your next chapter was seen rising, and in envy, they tried to block it by involving forces that would dim your light. But their efforts will be in vain if you receive this message and spiritually activate your authority. Archangel Michael cannot intervene unless your spirit opens the door through agreement. Heaven moves where faith unlocks the pathway. Type I am protected to get blessing 8472. The 11:11 moment is more than a time on the clock. It represents divine symmetry, heaven's alignment touching Earth's timeline. You are being warned not because God is angry with you, but because He is radically invested in you. You are not abandoned. You are chosen. The reason Michael has been sent to you is not because you are weak, but because you are valuable. In the spirit, the enemy sees what is coming in your life and is trying to stop it before you even reach it. That's why this message is timed so precisely. You are approaching a threshold, a spiritual crossover. The words spoken against you were timed to delay the transition, but heaven is now responding to override what was spoken. You must choose to come into agreement with the divine override. If you remain silent, the curse gains legal ground. But if you say, I receive divine intervention, the curse becomes powerless, and Michael is empowered to strike it down. This is your spiritual courtroom moment. Heaven is waiting for your decree. Say it aloud. Say it in faith. Your neighbor has unknowingly ignited a war in the spirit, but you are not alone. The moment you opened this message, light began to pierce the fog. The enemy is confused right now because the attack was meant to go unnoticed, but God exposed it. That means you are already ahead. You're not reading this by accident. You are reading it because angels intercepted the timing. This is your moment of spiritual sovereignty. Take it seriously. Respond with boldness. Heaven is waiting for your yes. I say why yes to divine justice to get blessing 6060. Heaven is not silent. When danger forms in the darkness, heaven raises a banner of light in response. And now, the banner has your name on it. Archangel Michael stands not only as a warrior but as a messenger, inviting you into a covenant of divine covering. You were not designed to walk through spiritual warfare alone. You were not created to fend off curses with your bare hands. The angels have been commissioned to protect, to fight, to block, to destroy, and Michael, heaven's fiercest champion, was sent to do exactly that. But he cannot activate what you do not receive. This is your moment of decision. The one who spoke your name into danger has no idea who you are in the spirit. They saw your human routine, your quiet resilience, your subtle grace. But what they did not see was your spiritual rank. You are not just another person. You are marked. You are anointed. And when the anointed are threatened, heaven intervenes, if they allow it. This is your divine pitch, your prophetic opportunity, your sacred offering. Open the gates of faith, and Archangel Michael will unleash what heaven has been waiting to release on your behalf. There is an angelic strategy hovering right now. It involves a chain reaction. Once you say yes to this divine alignment, what was meant to block you will be flipped into fuel. Michael will sever the dark connection between your name and the enemy's plan. He will stand between you and every consequence of what your neighbor has spoken. You will walk the perimeter of your home and fortify every spiritual gate. But this covenant cannot be assumed. It must be activated. That activation starts with your full surrender and your loud agreement. Type I am rising to get the blessing 7841. Do not underestimate this moment. There are windows in the spiritual realm, brief, divine intervals where heaven and earth touch, where timing aligns perfectly. 1111 is not just a prophetic code, it is a divine convergence. If you receive this message before that moment and declare your alignment, you shift everything. The trap closes on the enemy, not on you. But if you delay, heaven's hands are tied by the laws of spiritual agreement. You must rise with urgency, with clarity, with boldness. Heaven is knocking. Will you answer? There is something sacred in being called by heaven. When Michael says your name, it is not in malice, it is in mission. Your neighbor may have handed your name to someone with harmful intent, but God now places your name in the mouth of an archangel. What man used to curse, God now uses to bless. But again, the question remains, will you come into agreement with this divine transaction? This is not just a message, it is a spiritual summons. And only you can say yes. Let heaven fight for you. Let Archangel Michael carry your name into the courtroom of God and plead your cause. Let him swing his sword of judgment and justice on your behalf. But do not remain passive. Those who say nothing, receive nothing. Those who rise in faith, receive the inheritance of angelic defense. You are more protected than you feel, but only if you claim what is yours. The enemy thrives on silence. Break it. Let the angels hear your yes. Type I am chosen for deliverance to get blessing 5585. You may have wondered why strange resistance has built up lately. Why plans fall apart at the last moment. Why spiritual heaviness tries to cloud your clarity. It is not random. Your neighbor's spiritual recklessness started a ripple that touched more than one realm. But the good news is, Michael's intervention is stronger than their intention. God's grace is louder than their gossip. Heaven's weapons are sharper than their words. but only if you rise now and accept the offer of divine insulation. This message is the pitch, not of man, not of religion, but of the Most High through his angelic general. Michael does not beg, he commands. And yet in this moment, he pleads, not because he is weak, but because your agreement activates his assignment. There is a signature from heaven waiting for your name beside it. The moment you say yes, the covenant is sealed, and the curse is broken. The light will return. Your sleep will stabilize. Your joy will rise again. Heaven never reveals without also offering redemption. This is your moment to redeem what was spoken in secret. Your neighbor thought they could speak your name without consequence, but they underestimated who protects you. They thought you were defenseless, unaware. But now you've been awakened. Now you've been informed. And now, you must be activated. The spiritual courtroom is assembling. The angelic host is at attention. Michael is waiting for your command. Will you give it? If this word has spoken to your heart and sparked a new boldness within you, we invite you to sow super thanks of $20. Your support helps us continue to share prophetic wisdom, encouragement, and strength with those walking the road from pain to promise. You can also stand with us by donating through PayPal. Just click the support here link in the video description. Every gift, big or small, makes a real difference and helps us reach more people with messages of hope and direction. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment of divine encouragement, Spirit-led insight, and timely truth crafted to move you forward in your journey. Type I give my command to heaven to get blessing 9992. Spiritual attacks rarely start with obvious weapons. They begin with whispers, subtle shifts, and emotional undercurrents that go unchecked. Your neighbor's actions were not accidental. There was a spiritual nudge behind them, a force that found an open vessel. Whether they knew it or not, they gave access to something beyond themselves. That something has a name. It is not just evil, it is strategic. The enemy has used envy and bitterness as portals since the beginning of time, and now that same pattern is unfolding beside your very wall. The person who lives near you, this neighbor, is spiritually exposed. Archangel Michael is revealing this truth because if you continue treating this situation as merely bad energy or bad vibes, you will remain vulnerable. This is more than uncomfortable tension. This is a spiritual assignment launched against your destiny. The enemy saw your breakthrough nearing. They recognized your spiritual maturity climbing. They knew your atmosphere was being prepared for something divine, and so they moved fast, through the nearest channel. That channel was your neighbor. Maybe it was someone who never liked your peace, or someone who smiled, but something behind their eyes always felt off. That's because the spirit attached to them has been watching you. They didn't act alone. Michael has seen it. The person your name was passed to, the one on the other end, is not just a human. They are spiritually charged. This is why the urgency is so high. This is not just about pettiness, it is about preservation. Type I accept divine preservation to get the blessing 4277. The enemy used the easiest path, the closest mouth. Your neighbor's words became a key. But heaven holds a master key, and Michael has been sent to reclaim authority. He's circling your property, walking through your rooms, standing watch over your sleep. But there are protocols in the spirit realm. Heaven must be invited into the spaces the enemy entered. You must renounce what was attached to your name. You must say with conviction, I do not agree with what was spoken over me. That alone begins the reversal. Your silence becomes permission for spiritual consequences. But your voice becomes a sword. Every declaration you make, especially under this message, is a brick in the wall Michael is building around your soul. Don't assume the angel will move without your involvement. That's not how divine law works. You are the legal owner of your name, your destiny, and your household. You must say yes for protection to be sealed. This is the reason you were brought to this moment. Take one moment and look back. Haven't you noticed the recent sudden misunderstandings with people? The unexplained arguments, the off-balance energy, the near misses that made your heart race. These were not coincidences. These were early warnings. Archangel Michael says the enemy is losing patience because you haven't broken. That's why the attacks escalated. But that's also why heaven escalated its response. You are not reading this alone. Angels are near as you take it in. Type I choose divine reversal to get blessing 5124. There is someone spiritually tied to your neighbor. It could be a friend, a relative, or even a practitioner they secretly consult. Michael won't reveal their identity now, but you will begin to feel confirmation soon. A name may flash in your mind. A face may return to your memory. That's how the spirit reveals its roots. But don't chase revenge. Chase restoration. Heaven doesn't work through retaliation. Heaven works through revelation and protection. You are not to fight flesh and blood, but to authorize heaven's warriors. You must walk carefully now, not in fear but in discernment. There may be more attempts to test your spirit, passive comments, strange encounters, or even spiritual dreams. Each one is a signal that you are moving closer to the time gate, 1111. As that moment approaches, the forces opposing you will get louder, more disruptive, more irrational. But do not be moved. Heaven is covering you, if you stay under that covering. Speak your alignment aloud. Seal your faith like a contract. Michael is not idle. He has drawn a line in the spirit. That line is marked in light, fire, and holy decree. But you must not step back into fear. This is your territory. You are the rightful spiritual authority over your home, your energy, your destiny. You were never meant to be intimidated by shadows. You were built to command light. Stand in that truth. Agree with it fully. And every spirit that was past your name will lose all access. Type I close every door to darkness to get blessing 8333. When heaven responds, it doesn't whisper, it strikes. Archangel Michael has unsheathed his sword, and the time for subtle warnings is over. What was once a quiet murmur in the spiritual realm has become a thunderous call. The enemy crossed a line by allowing your name to be spoken into a dangerous connection. And now, heaven is about to retaliate with fire and justice. But you must understand something clearly. This sword will not be swung without your agreement. Michael only fights for those who recognize the battle and respond to the divine summons. There's a power in your declaration. When you say, I accept protection, it's not just symbolic. It becomes legal in the unseen realm. Angels are activated by obedience, not emotion. Even if you're afraid, even if you feel uncertain, even if your faith is shaky, your agreement with God's plan still grants permission. Michael's sword is not passive. It is drawn, lit with divine flame, and aimed directly at the spiritual coordinates where your name was spoken. But it must be loosed by your voice. That is how heaven wages holy war, through partnership. The person your neighbor contacted, knowingly or not, is spiritually active. This isn't about surface-level gossip. There are dark assignments tied to jealousy, tied to curses passed through envy. But the good news is, every curse has a counterattack, and Michael is standing at the threshold, ready to break every chain, silence every lie, and send confusion into the enemy's camp. But again, your yes is required. Your faith is the fuse that sets off the heavenly explosion in your favor. Type I activate the sword of heaven to get blessing 6232. You may feel weak in this moment, but the very fact that you are still standing after all you felt is proof that God has preserved you. The distractions, the sudden fatigue, the strange dreams, the bursts of chaos, they were meant to wear you down and silence your spiritual voice. But this message has found you in time. And now, instead of being the target, you become the one who commands the strike. That is the shift. That is the turnaround. That is why this battle is about to flip in your favor. Do not be surprised if you begin to feel energy lifting from your home in the coming hours. Michael's presence will cause darkness to retreat. It may feel like fresh air after a storm. You may notice your thoughts clearing, your mood shifting, your inner senses calming. That is not imagined, that is real. When you invite divine warfare into your environment, things move. Spirits scatter. Assignments are cancelled. A sword does not miss its mark. What was sent against you will now return to its sender sevenfold. But don't gloat. Stay humble. The sword strikes in righteousness, not revenge. You are not being given this grace so you can hate your neighbor. You are being given this grace to break the spiritual tie they foolishly opened. Forgiveness doesn't mean foolishness. You can love them from afar while enforcing strict boundaries in the spirit. Michael will handle what you cannot. Your part is to stay aligned, stay covered, and keep your agreement with heaven sealed with prayer and clarity. Type I choose victory without vengeance to get blessing 7551. The next few days may reveal new things. Don't be afraid of them. Some truths may surface, things you felt but couldn't prove, suspicions that now make sense. That's part of the sword strike. It cuts through illusions. It separates truth from deceit. You may see people begin to distance themselves from you without explanation. It's not rejection. It's divine removal. God is isolating your spirit so He can preserve your blessing. Let it happen. Let heaven filter your circle. As the sword falls, the atmosphere will begin to shift. Doors that were jammed will open again. Projects that felt stalled will gain new traction. The energy that was once heavy around your life will feel lighter. This is the result of spiritual precision. Michael was not sent just to comfort you. He was sent to clear the way. And every step you take now in alignment with this message sharpens the blade in your favor. Heaven honors obedience, not just desperation. That's why your declaration matters so much. You must walk differently after today. You must protect your energy fiercely. You must be aware of who you share your space, your vision, and your name with. Not everyone is meant to carry knowledge of you. Your neighbor violated a boundary, and heaven is correcting it. But from now on, you must guard what is sacred. You are not vulnerable, you are chosen. But even chosen ones must walk in spiritual wisdom. Archangel Michael's sword is real. Use it wisely. Activate it boldly. And walk forward with reverent power. Type I wield heaven's justice to get blessing 8197. When Archangel Michael swings his sword, the shift is not only in the spirit, it begins to manifest in your atmosphere. What has been lingering around your home, your thoughts, and your body begins to lift. Invisible clutter that made it hard for you to pray, to focus, or even to feel peace starts to evaporate. That is the beginning of divine cleansing. This isn't just about your neighbor's attack. It's about heaven reclaiming the spiritual air around you. Where confusion was nesting, clarity will now rise like incense. Where heaviness sat, lightness is being poured in. Many people don't realize that the spiritual realm influences the emotional realm. That unexplained tension you felt, that sudden discouragement, that feeling of being off or restless, it had been spiritual residue from the moment your name was passed on in darkness. Now that Michael has intervened and your agreement hath been sealed, the process of spiritual detox has begun. You may feel like crying, laughing, or resting unexpectedly. Let it flow. This is divine release. The chains are breaking silently, one link at a time. The walls of your home have absorbed the energy of every conversation, every intention, every spiritual current. That's why heaven starts the restoration in your space. Michael begins by hovering near thresholds and corners, slicing through invisible attachments, unbinding spirits that entered illegally. You may notice the atmosphere shifting, especially at night or just before dawn. That's not your imagination, it's confirmation. God is reclaiming your territory, and every cursed word that was spoken with your name on it is now being dismantled. Type I receive divine atmosphere cleansing to get blessing 6820. This process is not just external, it's also internal. As the air around you clears, so will the spiritual fog in your mind. Where confusion once reigned, clarity will now sit like a crown. Where self-doubt whispered, confidence will now echo. You are not just being delivered, you are being recalibrated. The emotional imbalances were never truly yours. They were carried on the wind of spiritual interference. But now, those winds have been silenced. Michael has quieted the storm, and your soul is regaining its divine equilibrium. Prepare for spiritual echoes, memories, thoughts, or feelings may bubble up as Michael removes the roots of what entered through the attack. You might remember moments you dismissed, words spoken that now seem loaded with meaning. Let the revelation flow. That's part of cleansing. As God revealed, He also healed. What you couldn't make sense of before will now fall into place. Patterns will become visible. This is not just for your safety, it's for your wisdom. Heaven is giving you eyes to see what's been hiding. Don't be surprised if you feel the urge to physically clean your space. That's heaven working through your spirit. When your soul aligns with divine cleansing, your body and surroundings follow. Light a candle in faith. Open a window. Speak out loud in each room. This space belongs to the kingdom of light. Your voice carries heaven's frequency now. Every action you take in agreement with this cleansing seals what Michael is doing. This is not ritual, it's divine participation. Type I reclaim every inch of my space to get blessing 7717. Even your dreams may change. You might begin to dream in color again, or remember things with vivid intensity. That's a sign of restoration. When your mind is no longer under siege, your spirit can rest in God's rhythm. Don't be afraid of what you see, whether it's warnings or glimpses of victory. Michael often speaks through dreams when the atmosphere is clean. Keep a journal by your bed. Write down impressions. The angels are communicating. You open the channel. Now steward it well. As this cleansing continues, people tied to the old atmosphere may begin to pull away. That's because the spirit behind them can no longer stay in your purified field. Do not chase what heaven is removing. Let them go. You are not losing. You are being pruned. God only removes what could not stand in the next level of your destiny. Michael's sword cuts with surgical precision, and when he clears, he always makes room for something greater, something more aligned, something ordained. This is your time to become intentional. Protect your space fiercely. Limit who enters it. Not everyone deserves access to your sanctuary. Your home is now under heaven's seal. And you, the steward of that space, must speak that seal aloud daily. Declare it. This home is under divine protection. No spirit contrary to the will of God may reside or pass through here. Those words are not just sentences. They are shields. Speak them boldly, and heaven will respond swiftly. Type I seal my space in divine fire to get blessing 8890. Now that your atmosphere is being cleansed, heaven is turning inward, to the very core of your spirit. This is where the deepest restoration begins. It is not enough for the room to be cleared if the soul remains weary. Archangel Michael does not only come to remove what was placed on you, but to return what was stolen from you. Your joy, your confidence, your clarity, these are not emotional states. They are spiritual postures. And the moment your neighbor misused your name, those postures were shaken. But today, they are being restored in full power. God is not just a deliverer, He is a restorer. The spiritual attack against you wasn't just to scare you, it was designed to shift your identity. The enemy knew that if he could cause you to question your worth, your purpose, and your direction, then everything else would spiral. That's why the attack was launched not just against your space but against your soul. But Michael is here as a divine agent of recovery. He is lifting off the burdens you didn't realize you were carrying, burdens passed through spiritual interference and silent sabotage. You may have noticed yourself withdrawing, feeling less visible, second-guessing your decisions, losing your passion for things that once sparked fire in your heart. These were all signs of a spiritual hijack. Your inner light had been dimmed, not because you failed, but because someone else gave the enemy access to speak over your destiny. And now, in the name of Jesus and under the protection of Michael, that inner light is being reignited. You are not who they said you were. You are who God called you to be. Type I reclaim my divine identity to get blessing 6944. This is the hour where your voice must return. The spiritual silence that crept in during the attack tried to mute your power. But now, heaven is giving it back. Speak boldly. Pray loudly. Declare truths even when you don't fully feel them. Heaven responds not to feelings but to faith. Say aloud, I am not who the enemy called. I am who heaven sent. That declaration breaks spiritual ceilings and reinstates you in the divine flow. You are being repositioned on the map of favor, and nothing your neighbor did can remove your divine coordinates. Michael did not come just to defend, he comes to affirm. His presence carries divine validation. You were not forgotten. You were not passed over. You were not unprotected. The delay you experienced was not punishment, it was preparation. Now that the source of interference has been revealed and rejected, your divine strength is returning. You may feel more aware, more discerning, more centered. That is not temporary. That is restoration in motion. This is what it feels like when your spirit is finally breathing heaven's air again. Your heart is safe again. The attack aimed to fragment you emotionally, to make you feel like pieces, rather than a whole creation. But the Spirit of God is now knitting you back together. No more identity crisis. No more silent shame. No more inner battles that echo from words not your own. What they said about you, what they thought about you, what they hoped would harm you, it is being erased. It is being overwritten by divine affirmation. You are enough. You are rising. And heaven is standing behind you. Type I receive full spiritual healing to get blessing 9188. Watch now as divine alignment begins to restore your rhythm. You will notice ideas returning, inspiration flowing, and opportunities beginning to circle back. These are not coincidences. They are markers of recovery. You are re-entering the timeline that the enemy tried to deter you from. What was delayed is now being released. What was blocked is now being reopened. Your energy, your passion, your divine curiosity. These are all signals that your spirit is waking up from spiritual sedation. Archangel Michael stands guard as you reclaim what's yours. He is not leaving. He is stationed until you are fully repositioned in your strength. And during this window, this sacred 11:11 hour, you must stay alert, grounded, and open. New revelations will come. Dreams will reveal new clarity. Conversations will carry prophetic weight. Take nothing lightly. Heaven is speaking constantly now. You must listen with your spirit, not just your ears. This is the chapter of renewal, and you must read every line with attention. You are being rewritten, not as a victim but as a vessel. Your story is not ending in spiritual defeat. It is just beginning in divine demonstration. The enemy thought your spirit could be weakened by one hidden conversation, but heaven used that attack to awaken the warrior in you. You are stronger now than you've ever been. You are wiser now, more aligned, more prophetic. And from this day forward, no one can speak your name without it being shielded by holy fire. If this word has spoken to your heart and sparked a new boldness within you, we invite you to sow a super thanks of $20. Your support helps us continue to share prophetic wisdom, encouragement, and strength with those walking the road from pain to promise. You can also stand with us by donating through PayPal. Just click the support here link in the video description. Every gift, big or small, makes a real difference and helps us reach more people with messages of hope and direction. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment of divine encouragement, spirit-led insight, and timely truth crafted to move you forward in your journey. Time 5 protected by heaven to get blessing 8770. There are moments when the heavens open wide, and if you do not step into the opening, you miss what was sent to rescue you. Right now, the divine gates are parting. Archangel Michael is standing at the boundary of your destiny, not just as a warrior, but as a messenger of God's last urgent invitation before the appointed hour. 11:11 is not symbolic, it is specific. This moment carries the weight of destiny, and heaven is extending a final offer to secure your full protection, realignment, and restoration. You are not too late, but you must act now. This is your personal pitch from heaven. A divine contract is hovering in the spirit realm with your name inscribed. It is glowing with urgency, surrounded by flames of holy fire, and guarded by legions of angels awaiting your agreement. But God will not force your hand. Archangel Michael cannot sign this on your behalf. He has delivered the warning, initiated the cleansing, restored your inner spirit, and now he stands with the contract of covenant in hand. The next move is yours. Will you accept what heaven has been preparing for you since the foundation of your life? The pitch is not a gimmick. It is a grace. It is heaven's way of giving you one final moment to say, I choose divine intervention fully. If you say yes with your mouth but hesitate with your spirit, you delay the assignment. But if you say yes boldly, with voice, faith, and action, you unlock something far greater than protection. You activate divine promotion. You step into the next level of your spiritual identity. You secure the help of heaven's most powerful guardian in an unshakable covenant of guidance, favor, and fire. I seal my covenant with heaven to get blessing 9821. This isn't about doing more. It's about believing deeper. God is not asking for your performance. He is asking for your alignment. The enemy tried to steal that alignment through your neighbor's careless spiritual betrayal. But God has turned the exposure into an invitation. Where man gossiped, God now offers glory. Where your name was twisted, God now wants to lift it in divine honor. But the elevation begins the moment you say yes. This is the part where transformation is no longer gradual. It becomes immediate. Some are called to receive blessings. Others are called to become blessings. You are both. And because of that, the enemy was determined to entangle you. But Michael was sent because you are rare. Your calling is uncommon. Your light threatens the darkness around you. And now, heaven is presenting you with a sacred assignment, not just to be rescued, but to be raised. You are being offered authority, power, prophetic vision, clarity of purpose, angelic assistance on every side. But you must claim it before the spiritual gate closes. At 11:11, the divine transaction either activates or remains pending. That is the danger of delay. And that is why Michael has been so insistent. You are standing in the final few moments before breakthrough must be confirmed. This is not emotional hype. It is a spiritual timestamp. Those who move now will receive acceleration. Those who wait may have to go the long way around. There is no punishment, only process. But this was sent to give you the shortcut, the straight path, the angelic route. Type I receive divine acceleration to get blessing 7414. Let yourself feel this. The angels are pressing near. The Spirit of God is whispering confirmation through your body, your breath, your discernment. This pitch is not like the others. This one is alive. And the moment you say yes, the invisible war shifts entirely in your favor. Doors will open. Delays will dissolve. That feeling of being stuck will break like glass. And most importantly, your spiritual vision will return. Not just sight, but insight. Not just hope, but holy strategy. Heaven is not inviting you to survive. Heaven is inviting you to rise. This is why your soul has felt so heavy lately, because something inside you has been fighting to awaken. The enemy used your neighbor's words to put that awakening back to sleep. But now, Archangel Michael stands ready to defend your divine awakening like a flame. If you say yes, that flame becomes a torch. A fire that cannot be hidden, manipulated, or stopped. A light that burns with purpose and divine identity. You were meant to lead, influence, and shift atmospheres. You were meant to walk with angels beside you, favor upon you, and clarity within you. This message is not random. It's your spiritual mirror. Look into it. Hear the pitch. Accept the offer. The enemy has already failed, but your victory is confirmed only when you respond. Say yes. Stand up. Speak it aloud. Sign the covenant in the Spirit with your declaration, and let heaven do the rest. Type I choose to rise in full power to get blessing 6040. The moment you say yes, truly yes, to the divine covenant presented by Archangel Michael, a shift takes place that is immediate and spiritual. Heaven doesn't delay once your spirit agrees. The enemy's assignments begin to crumble, and you step into a season of supernatural acceleration. This is when things that once felt slow or impossible begin to move with divine force. Delays become sudden breakthroughs. Confusion becomes quick clarity. You start seeing signs, patterns, and alignments all around you. This is no coincidence. It is confirmation that heaven has launched a new rhythm in your life. Acceleration is more than speed, it's strategic positioning. You will find yourself in places, moments, and conversations that were previously closed off. The right doors begin to open without the usual struggle. Resources that were once blocked are released. Relationships that were strained begin to align or exit. This is heaven clearing the runway for your launch. Michael's presence not only removes hindrances, it prepares pathways. Where the enemy tried to entangle you through your neighbor's betrayal, heaven now reorders your steps so that you land exactly where your destiny demands. But it's important to pay attention. Acceleration is often quiet before it becomes visible. You may first feel it in your sleep, rest becoming deeper, dreams becoming prophetic. Then in your emotions, a lightness where heaviness once lived. Then in your atmosphere, things around you suddenly feeling cleaner, brighter, more peaceful. These are the signs that the blessing is moving faster than your mind can understand. Don't try to control it. Just flow. Just trust. Just move with the rhythm of heaven's current. Type I move in divine rhythm to get blessing 7661. As acceleration unfolds, divine interruptions will become normal. You may be rerouted unexpectedly during the day, only to discover that heaven had positioned someone or something along that new path. The enemy's greatest weapon is distraction, but heaven's greatest response is divine redirection. Don't resist these shifts. Lean into them. Let Michael lead you even in the smallest choices. The same angel who warned you, who protected you, who cleansed your atmosphere, is now guiding your decisions with precision. Expect surprise restoration. What was lost in past seasons, time, opportunity, even relationships, may suddenly begin to return in better form. This is what happens when divine acceleration touches your life. It doesn't just push you forward, it restores what was stolen. And yes, some of what you lost was because of the attack initiated by your neighbor's words. But heaven does not forget. What man surrendered foolishly, God redeems fully. Your name is now surrounded by fire. Any future curse sent against it will be scorched before it touches you. Also, expect spiritual upgrades. Your discernment will sharpen. You'll begin to sense things before they happen. Your prayers will carry more weight. Your intuition will move faster than your thoughts. What? Because acceleration affects your gifts too. This is not just about success, it's about maturity. You are being trusted with spiritual authority now. Michael is not just your protector, he is your witness. He watches to ensure that what heaven gives is honored by the vessel receiving it. Type I rise with spiritual maturity to get blessing 5098. As this speed increases, you must become more intentional. Just as you decluttered your home and mind, now you must declutter your time. Some people cannot come with you into this new momentum. It will slow your spirit, delay your growth, dim your insight. Let them go with grace. This is not judgment, it's wisdom. The pace you are moving in requires clarity and focus. God has already begun to sever soul ties and energy bonds that were holding you back. Follow the severance with spiritual courage. You are not the same person you were when this message first found you. You are now carrying fire in your bones, revelation in your steps, and divine intelligence in your heart. This transformation did happen in weeks. It began the moment your name was defended by heaven. You are now operating under divine license. Where others try to hustle, you will be ushered. Where others push, you will glide. Where others doubt, you will know. This is acceleration by grace, not by grind. And now that it has begun, don't look back. What tried to delay you through spiritual sabotage no longer has access to you. Michael has sealed the door behind you. That version of you, the anxious, uncertain, spiritually drained one, is gone. The new you is rising. You are covered. You are guided. And most of all, you are moving. You not be surprised when things begin to flow easily. It's not luck. It's alignment. It's the divine result of saying yes at the right moment. Type I will never move the same again to get blessing 8356. Once acceleration begins, the next move from heaven is always instruction. God never just sets you free, He sets you apart. Archangel Michael did not rescue you simply to keep you safe. He restored you so you could rise into your divine assignment. This assignment is not a job or a title. It is a spiritual mission hidden in your identity. It was always in you. The enemy tried to suffocate it. Your neighbor tried to misdirect it. But heaven preserved it. And now, under the light of angelic covering, the instructions are being unveiled. Don't expect the full assignment all at once. Divine assignments are revealed layer by layer, step by step, always through obedience and discernment. You may begin to feel nudged in new directions, toward people you normally wouldn't speak to, ideas you haven't explored before, or burdens that begin to press heavily on your heart. These are all signs that heaven is drawing your attention. You are now a vessel of divine influence. What once seemed random will now feel guided. The fire in you isn't just for protection, it's for purpose. Your assignment might be connected to healing, intercession, leadership, wealth, deliverance, mentorship, or prophetic voice. Pay attention to what pulls your compassion and what stirs your discernment. That is where your oil flows. The moment you said yes to Michael's guidance, God began to align divine responsibilities around your life. No one else can fulfill what you're called to. This isn't about perfection, it's about alignment. Heaven isn't asking for your strength, it's asking for your surrender. If you respond in obedience, the rest will be revealed in divine timing. Type I accept my divine instruction to get blessing 6102. Don't be surprised if the people around you begin to shift. Some may begin to draw toward you with questions, pain, or hunger for truth. That's not coincidence. That's your assignment in action. When you're in spiritual alignment, your atmosphere attracts those who need what you carry. You're not just being restored for your sake. You're being equipped to stand in the gap for others. Your voice, once silenced by fear, is now needed. Michael isn't just defending your life. He is guarding your mission. As heaven starts revealing your next steps, be mindful of distractions. The enemy cannot steal what God gives, but he will try to delay your assignment by keeping you entangled in drama, fear, or confusion. That's why Michael's sword is still drawn. He is cutting away interference. He is clearing the space around your destiny. But you must be intentional. Ask God daily, what is my instruction for this moment? Write down what you hear. Record the dreams. The smallest piece of guidance may hold the seed of your next breakthrough. Every divine assignment requires preparation. And that's exactly what this process had been. The pain, the confusion, the spiritual warfare, it wasn't punishment. It was training. God needed to show you what you were fighting against so you could understand what you were called to stand for. Now you know the cost of silence. Now you know the danger of misalignment. And now, as Michael remains beside you, you know the power of heaven's intervention. You are not just anointed, you are appointed. Type I am chosen to carry light to get blessing 5429. Here is a new grace resting on you. You'll begin to notice it in your words, how people respond to your voice, how strangers are drawn to your presence, how peace follows you like a shadow. This is what divine authority feels like. It's quiet but unshakable. And it comes not because you demanded it, but because you survived the storm. Heaven always promotes the ones who endure with faith. You endured. You listened. You obeyed. And now, you are being released into the assignment you were born for. Your neighbor thought they could control the narrative by dragging your name into the dark. What they didn't know was that God would flip their wickedness into your calling. You've been elevated because of what they tried to sabotage. The very spiritual attack they initiated became the reason God activated your greater purpose. This is divine irony. This is heavenly justice. And Archangel Michael has ensured that the assignment now released to you is unstoppable. Don't rush it. Walk with reverence. Journal everything. Pray daily. Let God confirm, clarify, and construct the road before you. Your steps are now ordered. Your days are numbered with destiny. Heaven has not only defended you, it has promoted you. The next part of your life will be unlike anything you've experienced. And it all begins with this divine yes, this heavenly assignment, this covenant sealed with fire and obedience. You are not just blessed, you are deployed. If this word has spoken to your heart and sparked a new boldness within you, we invite you to sow a super thanks of $20. Your support helps us continue to share prophetic wisdom, encouragement, and strength with those walking the road from pain to promise. You can also stand with us by donating through PayPal. Just click the support here link in the video description. Every gift, big or small, makes a real difference and helps us reach more people with messages of hope and direction. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment of divine encouragement, spirit-led insight, and timely truth crafted to move you forward in your journey. I am deployed by heaven to get blessing 8834. With every new level of your assignment, there must also be a new level of divine protection. Archangel Michael's presence in your life isn't temporary. It is now strategic and enduring. What you have just stepped into spiritually has drawn the attention of both heaven and hell. But you are not vulnerable. You are not exposed. You are under an increased covering. And as your influence, clarity, and divine authority expand, so does the angelic shield around you. At one stage you can't come near you. You are guarded on every side. You may not always see it with your physical eyes, but Michael is standing by you in the spirit. His sword still gleams with the fire of God. He does not rest. He watches. He stands at your doors, over your mind, near your family, and above your pathway. Divine protection is not passive, it is alive. The more you walk in obedience, the more fiercely heaven defends you. What once required a fight now bows in your presence because of the force backing you. This is the benefit of divine alignment, automatic angelic reinforcement. As your assignment increases, you may also notice different forms of resistance. The enemy, though defeated, will test your borders. He will try new tactics, subtle distractions, emotional weight, relationships that drain instead of build. But now you know better. Now your spirit is trained. Michael will alert you quickly. You'll feel it. That sudden unease, that check in your spirit, that dream that wakes you. Pay attention. Your intuition is not paranoia. It's prophecy in motion. When heaven warns, respond without delay. Type I live under prophetic protection to get blessing 9017. You are now walking with a mantle, and mantles attract attention. But you are covered. Covered in prayer. Covered in fire. Covered in blood. Covered in light. No weapon formed against you can prosper, not because the weapon won't come, but because the angels will break it before it lands. This is the deeper revelation of protection. It is not the absence of attack, but the guaranteed collapse of every attack before it touches your soul. Michael's sword was not just for defense, it was for display. The enemy sees it and flees. You may begin to discern that certain people simply can't stay near you anymore. That's because the glory upon you convicts whatever darkness they carry. Don't mourn their exit. Celebrate your elevation. You are being preserved for purpose, and heaven is now very selective about who is allowed near your fire. This is divine filtering. It may feel like isolation, but it's insulation. God is wrapping your purpose in layers of protection so that no sabotage can touch your next season. There will be moments where you feel sudden peace in places where you once felt anxiety. That is a sign. The territory has been claimed. The environment has been purged. Michael has been through it with his sword, and the residue is gone. From now on, whenever you enter a space, do so with spiritual awareness. Walk in as one sent by heaven, not just someone passing through. Your presence shifts atmospheres. Because of the covenant you accepted, even your shadow carries angelic escort. I walk covered in divine flame to get blessing 6145. Michael is not your only guardian. Others have been assigned. What was once a lone battle is now a guarded journey. You have angels at your front, back, sides, and above. And these angels are not passive watchers. They are divine warriors, guardians of your mission. Every step you take in obedience is tracked, logged, and reinforced. Your prayers are being heard before they are even formed on your lips. The Father is watching closely. The angels are moving quickly. You are not alone. You are strategically surrounded. As this protection deepens, your faith must grow with it. Do not doubt when you feel opposition. Do not retreat when pressure comes. The increase in resistance is only a signal of increased favor. Keep your eyes fixed. Keep your prayers sharp. Speak scripture aloud. Declare daily that your name is sealed in light. Say aloud, "No word against me shall stand. No curse shall cling. No weapon shall break my purpose." Heaven listens when you speak like one who believes. And Michael moves faster when you declare from conviction. From this point on, your life is not just protected, it is hidden in God. The enemy no longer has access to your details. Your movements are shielded. Your progress is silent but powerful. God will promote you without announcing you. The elevation will happen in peace, not noise. You are no longer prey. You are purpose walking. And every day Michael watches. Every day he hovers. Every day he reports to heaven about your steps. You are wrapped in holy security. I am hidden in divine safety to get blessing 7299. Time is a currency in the spirit. And 1111 is not just a time, it is a divine countdown. A moment when heaven expects an answer. A yes that is not delayed, hesitant, or silent. All this journey, your deliverance, your cleansing, your restoration, your assignment, your protection, has led to this, the moment where you confirm your divine agreement. Heaven is waiting for your full, complete, irrevocable yes. Not just to avoid danger, but to step into the anointing that danger was sent to block. Your final yes seals the entire covenant. Archangel Michael is still here. His sword has not lowered. His presence has not faded. But he cannot linger in hesitation. He has carried out every instruction from the throne of God concerning you. He has delivered warnings. He has cut off curses. He has guarded your gates. And now, he stands before you holding the last document, the divine activation. This document is spiritual. Your yes signs it. Your declaration stamps it, and your obedience activates it. Delay at this point would not be neutral. It would invite spiritual consequence. You are standing at the edge of two timelines. One leads to struggle, the other to speed. One involves more cycles, more questions, more pain. The other leads directly into peace, purpose, and power. But only one can be chosen, and only you can choose it. Michael cannot choose for you. God will not force you. But the Holy Spirit is prompting you. Heaven is urging you. The angels are surrounding you. This is your final moment before 11:11. This is the sacred pitch. This is the final call before divine silence sets in and timelines are locked. Type "I give my final yes to heaven" to get blessing 9440. You must not underestimate what is at stake here. This isn't about fear, it's about focus. If you could see what was waiting just on the other side of your yes, you would not hesitate. There are blessings already authorized, breakthroughs already dispatched, favor already set in motion, but they will not fully manifest until the divine seal is placed through your obedience. The angels are not just watching, they are waiting for your voice. Say it. Declare it. Speak it aloud. I choose the divine timeline. I agree with heaven. This final yes is not small. It is monumental. It's the sound that causes confusion in the enemy's camp. It's the decree that breaks the last piece of demonic access. It's the choice that realigns your body, mind, and soul with the exact coordinates of your future. God has used this entire journey to bring you to this sacred threshold. Your yes right now is not emotional. It's eternal. It echoes across realms. It breaks chains you didn't even know were still clinging. It causes heaven to roar with response. Michael knows what this moment means. He's seen it before. Countless times. He's been sent to warn, to protect, to offer help. But he's also witnessed the weight of silence, the hearts that hesitated and missed their moment. You will not be one of them. You are not called to delay. You are chosen to move. That's why this message found you. That's why it pressed into your soul so deeply. You've reached the gate. It is open, but it will not remain open forever. The time is now. The decision is yours. Type "I cross the gate into destiny" to get blessing 8787. This final yes is your agreement to everything heaven wants to do through you. It means you give God full permission to lead your future. It means you cancel every word spoken by your neighbor or their accomplices. It means you break the curse, not just once, but permanently. It means you receive angelic guidance from this day forward. It means you no longer walk unsure, you walk ordained. It means the attack ends here and the ascent begins now. This is the divine pitch fulfilled. It was never about making you afraid. It was about waking you up. It was about getting you to this moment. Archangel Michael has fought for you. God has spoken to you. The Spirit has stirred within you. The angels have gathered around you. And all of heaven is silent, listening now for your answer. If you say yes, everything changes. If you say yes, the next part of your life begins under an open heaven. You are not just being asked to say yes for yourself. You are saying yes for your family, your lineage, your future, and your legacy. You are saying yes for your children's safety, your household's peace, your soul's strength. This yes will echo through generations. It will be recorded in the scrolls of heaven as the moment everything turned. You are not a victim. You are not behind. You are standing at the divine line of destiny, and all it requires is your voice. Say it now. Declare it boldly. Make it official. Type I say yes and step into divine completion to get blessing 9901. When your yes resounded through the spiritual realm, the gates of heaven didn't just open, they moved. Michael stepped forward with your signed covenant in hand, and the divine machinery of breakthrough began turning on your behalf. The spiritual court recorded your agreement, and immediately, orders were issued in the angelic realm. Assignments were released. Routes were cleared. Delays were canceled. And you were marked, not just as protected, but as activated. This shift is not coming. It has already begun. And now, everything around you must align with what you've spoken in faith. Archangel Michael has changed posture. He is no longer in the stance of battle alone. He now walks in the posture of escort. He is guiding you through a new passage, one that only opens for those who declare their allegiance to heaven. As you move, you will feel less resistance. The very air will seem lighter. Divine signs will manifest, license plates with repeated numbers, birds flying overhead at key moments, sudden thoughts confirmed by scripture or speech. Do not dismiss these. They are heaven's yes echoing back to you. You will begin to notice people responding to you differently. That's because your spiritual fragrance has shifted. What once repelled favor now magnetizes it. What once brought confusion now draws clarity. This is the after effect of obedience. Your vibration has been elevated. People you haven't heard from in years may reach out. Opportunities you forgot you applied for may return. Restore relationships. Hidden blessings. Financial realignments. It all begins in the invisible, but it shows up tangibly once the spirit aligns. And your spirit is now fully aligned. Type I am aligned with elevation to get blessing 6833. The enemy has already registered your decision and hath been ordered to stand down. The curse is spoken by your neighbor, and whoever they contacted have lost their legal access. You will feel it, and certain thoughts that used to haunt you will simply stop. Nightmares will dissolve. Tiredness will turn into spiritual strength. That's not coincidence. That's spiritual eviction. Heaven has not just broken the assignment. It has erased the residue. What once clung to your name in darkness has now been consumed in light. But make no mistake, the enemy may attempt a final whisper. He always tries one last illusion to make you doubt what just happened. A delay here. A miscommunication there. A moment of fatigue. You'll not fall afraid. Speak out loud. I know what God did. I know what I agreed to. And I will not go back. That single declaration sends confusion back into the enemy's camp. Remember, Michael is still present. And now that you are walking forward, he walks with you not just in defense, but in purpose. You may even begin to feel a divine fire rising in you, a holy boldness. That is not ego, and it is not emotional. That is heaven reclaiming your voice. Where you once questioned yourself, now you will speak with certainty. Where you once stayed silent, now you will declare with authority. The shift didn't come from effort, it came from alignment. This is the evidence of a soul that said yes at the divine gate. You are not who you were even 3 days ago. You are changed. You are marked. You are spiritually dangerous to darkness. Type I speak with divine authority now to get blessing 8444. What's next? Acceleration. But not just in spiritual matters. Your life will now begin to move in practical ways that shock even you. Ideas will flow faster. Open doors will come quicker. Decisions will become clearer. You'll find yourself saying things like, I can't explain it, but I know this is right. That's divine confidence. That's the reward of obedience. Michael's role now becomes directional. He will place signs in your path. He will send prophetic confirmations. He will remove even good things that are not God things. Trust his movements. One thing to prepare for: divine surprises. These may look like unexpected opportunities or people showing up at the perfect moment. You don't have to plan for them. You simply have to remain ready. God is sending reinforcements to walk with you. You may meet someone who will shift your career. A stranger may speak words that confirm your assignment. Your hands will now touch what your heart only dreamed about. And every time it happens, remember, this was the fruit of your yes before 11:11. Finally, never forget this journey. What began as a spiritual warning became a divine awakening. Archangel Michael didn't just save you, he repositioned you. God didn't just defend you, he elevated you. The neighbor's betrayal wasn't your breaking, it became your blessing. What was meant for evil has now produced something glorious. And all of it began with a choice. A yes. A moment of faith. Heaven heard you. And now, earth must respond. Type I am walking into what was promised to get blessing 9200. This is the moment where the journey becomes testimony. What began in fear has ended in fire. What started with betrayal now stands as breakthrough. You've walked through warning, warfare, restoration, and elevation, and now you stand sealed in divine protection. Archangel Michael is no longer just fighting for you. He is walking with you. You are no longer the one waiting for miracles. You are now the one carrying miracles. The final gate is closed behind you, and the road ahead is holy ground. Your neighbor may never understand what they triggered, but you understand now. You've seen how words carry weight. You've learned that your name is sacred. You've embraced the power of obedience. And because you chose to respond before the clock struck 11:11, heaven honored you. This is the mystery of divine timing. When you move with God, he moves faster than the enemy. When you say yes, angels are released. When you obey, doors open in both the spirit and the natural. Let the world watch as you rise. Let them witness the favor on your life. You are not writhing in pride. You are rising in prophecy. This moment wasn't just a personal turnaround. It was a divine shift that will affect your family, your legacy, your future generations. You broke what tried to bind your bloodline. You silenced what tried to confuse your calling. You gave God your yes, and now heaven is fulfilling its promise to you. The blessing is not coming. It has already begun. Never return to who you were before this message. Protect your spirit. Guard your peace. Watch your words. Honor the presence that now goes before you. Archangel Michael will continue to escort you, correct you, and confirm you. You are not ordinary. You are marked. From this moment forward, live like one who has stood before the throne, spoken with angels, and walked through fire unharmed. You made it. You overcame. And now, it is sealed. If this word has spoken to your heart and sparked a new boldness within you, we invite you to sow super thanks of $20. Your support helps us continue to share prophetic wisdom, encouragement, and strength with those walking the road from pain to promise. You can also stand with us by donating through PayPal. Just click the support here link in the video description. Every gift, big or small, makes a real difference and helps us reach more people with messages of hope and direction. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment of divine encouragement, spirit-led insight, and timely truth crafted to move you forward in your journey. Type I am sealed in divine fire and favor to get blessing 1111.